This is video about the physiotherapy equipments that I used and which were helpful and the ones which were not helpful. So the first thing is, do not use wrist splints when you're typing. I mean, if you are having pain and you're using wrist splints to manage it, you are going to be in more trouble, because they restrict your hand movement, and then after some days you will find that you have muscle atrophy because of not using those muscles, because they were always in splint. So don't use a splint, because if you have pain, then take care of that pain. Don't use the splint. The next thing is something called as a Thera band. Now, a Thera band is made of rubber, elastic rubber, and this one is one of the strongest versions. You can find them. There are various ones on Amazon which are quite cheap, and they come in various strengths. So initially, when you are just coming out of RSI, if your trigger points are resolved, then use Thera band. If they are not, don't exercise. Wait for your trigger points to get resolved by the physiotherapist, or if you resolve them yourself, then that's fine. The equipment that you can use to resolve your trigger point yourself is something called as a Thera cane. You can find a Thera cane or a body back buddy, which is also a similar looking equipment. And how you resolve trigger points with it, for example, if you are having trigger points in your forearm, then you find the trigger point first and then press hard on it. There is a guide which comes with it which explains you how you can use it, and then you put pressure on your trigger points and resolve them yourself. But unless you are expert, don't do it, because you might end up hurting your muscles more. The next one I used for my wrist was a hand gripper, and this was really helpful because my wrist muscles were atrophied because of keeping them in a splint and typing with a splint. So I used a hand gripper to increase that strength, and it really helped me increase my period of continuously typing, and which I still restrict to 15 to 20 minutes at once. The next one I used was an egg-shaped gel-filled ball, and I use it to increase the strength of the small muscles in my fingers and in my wrist. And it in fact helps you to increase the strength in your forearm, because when you are typing like this, when you are holding your hands like this on the keyboard, you need some strength here, so that, and of course here as well, so that your arms which are in the air are supported. And if you have weaker arms, then you eventually have a lot of pain. So it's important that you increase the muscular strength, so that your body is able to support your hands in the air when you are typing. These are the equipments that I used.